I had a lot of challenges with my upbringing with my husband because we have two different perspectives. For example, I believe in training up a child in the way they should go from childhood. My husband believes in letting them figure it out. You don't have to tell them what to do. You don't have to ask them
Guide them.
to guide them.
For those who doesn't know me, my name is Claudia Neka Hirsch. I'm an author, entrepreneur, and a business relationship coach specialized for interracial marriage. And this is my first book. For those who haven't purchased it yet, kindly go to amazon.de. You can get my book there, both in English. You can get an e-copy as well, English and in German, for those in the German-speaking regions of Europe. And the English one, like what I'm holding right now, will be out in November, and my other books are also coming along. So that's it. I have a friend here. She's a pastor, and I leave her to introduce herself.
My name is Pastor Juliana, living in Germany, origin from Nigeria.
Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you for being in my studio today.
Thank you.
Pastor Juliana, I've known you for a long time now. We've been friends for a very long time, and we have the same faith, So, and I actually go around asking women from all the world about relationship and marriage, because we have to unlearn to learn, what we were taught, what marriage is actually all about. So, and you moving from Nigeria to Germany, what was your challenge?
Great. At the entrance of getting married, the entrance of marriages is always, we have our big dreams. We have a perspective of how marriage should be like based on our culture, Christian faith, and all that we have learned while growing up. So migrating from Nigeria to Germany, being married to a German man, I was introduced into a complete, total, different cultural background, which they have their own perspective of marriage in the different light, although we have shared the same faith.
Okay.
So I'll be speaking from the perspective of two Christians being married from two different cultural backgrounds from Europe and Africa.
Okay.
So one of the most major challenges I found when I got to Germany was to understanding the people I'm coming to deal with. My truth is not their truth. My motherly upbringing is not how they say it. So I had a lot of challenges with my upbringing with my husband because we have two different perspectives. For example, I believe in training up a child in the way they should go from childhood. My husband believes in letting them figure it out. You don't have to tell them what to do. You don't have to ask them to guide them. Even little domestic things like pick up your plate after eating, it's a big deal. So I had a lot of challenges in these areas.
When it comes to interracial marriage, bringing up a child together is a big challenge, because you want to bring your child up based on your upbringing from Africa, and he wants to bring the child up based on his own upbringing in Europe. And I think in Europe, if you look at the upbringing in Europe, like you said, you want your child to pick the dishes and take them to the kitchen. Europeans do that. The Germans do that, because I know, for me, after eating Thomas will tell them, take your dish to the kitchen. So I think it's a personal issue, it's a personal decision how one brings the child up based on the two coming together. Because African and white relationship, which I'm very passionate about, it's my passion, is complex.
That's true.
Yeah, everyone wants to be heard. The woman wants to be heard, the guy wants to be heard, but it's supposed to be kind of like a union, coming together, like we working together for the betterment of these children. It's not my upbringing, it's not your upbringing. What are we going to do together to bring these children up to be better citizens for the community? So another question for you. Um, how did you integrate? How do you integrate into the system when you discovered, okay, I'm in Germany now, so how do you navigate your way to integrate into the system?
Okay, first of all, I tried to learn the language. And during the language school, we taught about a lot of their culture. So I began to see so many things through my integration class that most of its attitudes are actually their upbringing, is the culture of Germany. So I wasn't picking offenses anymore in most of the thing. Then I discovered because marriage is a thing about culture and what kind of culture you want to integrate in your home. So I had to start making adjustments. I had to start letting go of what I think serves me while I was in Africa and picking up the challenges that I meet here and investing on myself, on my skills to meet up the standard of the European German community standard. For example, as a mother, when you go to school with the kids, you have to also integrate with other mothers, bringing up kids, following them up. So I began to learn. When I began to learn, I realized I stopped trying to see offenses or what is not right or what is right. I began to take the positive side out of the community. I involved in the church. I go to the German church. I involved in the church. I began to learn to see how the Christian women behaves here and all that. I involved in some social work. I involved in the kindergarten. So that's how I integrated into the system. And I've lived now in Germany fully for over 15 years, although I've been married for over 25 years.
Okay. So homesickness when you moved to Germany, elaborate on that.
Oh, okay. In the initial stage, when I moved to Germany in between these 15 years, I didn't really know I would be so homesick. I didn't miss so much because at least we are in the internet world, so I could call my parents, I could hear their voices. So it wasn't that so homesick. But I realized after like 3 years of being in Germany, I began to miss home. I began to miss the vibe. I began to miss the friends. I began to realize that Germany can be very, very lonely because we from Africa, we involve in family and communities and all that. But here in Germany, it's very different. And I began to realize that Germany can be very lonely, especially in the winter period. So that's another very big challenge. Is the weather is another very big challenge. So during the winter period, I'm often very homesick. I would want to eat my food, and
Because it brings you closer home.
yeah, it brings me closer home. I end up trying now to look for other Africans around me to join African community just to feel that home again. Yeah, okay, that's it.
Okay, good. Yeah. So like all what you've been talking for a few days now, and I mean I also have my own share of experiences and all that. So and with all what you've learned in life, from your point of your starting point in Africa to Germany, and what you've achieved in life and who you are today, based on all those things carried you along, build your emotional stability and all that. So with the experience, you would have good or bad. So if your younger self would stand right in front of you, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to listen more, very slow to respond or speak, articulate the statement or whatever has been said, and talk less.
Okay. What about when it comes to action? What will you tell her when it comes to decision making?
Like I said, whatever the situation will be, or the circumstances, or the topic, she should listen more so that she can figure it out. And don't always give the spontaneous decision. You can always give a decision that is going to be like, I'll get back to you.
Okay. You sleep over it.
I'll sleep over it. I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no.
But I sleep over it.
I'm not criticizing what he's saying. I will definitely give him he or her the opinion that, yeah, this is a decision time. So I really want to look at it in a different perspective, from other perspective before I will respond.
Okay.
Or take my decisions.
Okay, so you kind of like sleep over it and play it over your mind or over your brain to really get the best answer or to make the best decision for it. So thank you very much. Nice having you in my studio. And you know how we say it here, a happy home is a happy nation. Bye.